In 2013, I went to the Philippines. I went to the Philippines to do a sports diplomacy mission with the US government, but actually at that moment it was just a small camp with a friend of mine named Kareem to do an American football camp. Now that wasn't the intention, but I brought a bag of footballs, and what ended up happening was a magical experience that started a company that I started called Empower to Play, a sports diplomacy initiative to help rebuild communities through the power of sports. Now, the thing is, the first time I went into the country, I remembered the big suitcases that I brought of clothes, of items. But I remember as I was walking down the street in a place called Quezon City in the Philippines, in a place in an area of the Marcos compound, there were families that I connected with. Now, at that time, I was working at a school called Phillips Exeter Academy, and if you're unfamiliar with that place, it's one of the most elite boarding schools in the world, where politicians' kids, ambassadors' kids, CEOs' kids, individuals, for the most likely, are in the upper echelon of society. But at the same time, they do have a generous financial aid package where high talented kids that may not have the means can still be able to go there free of charge. Now imagine going from that environment all the way to the Philippines, where most of the individuals lived in, especially the area that I was in a one bedroom house or one or two room house, but they might have 3 or 4 children. And so I remember in the clothes that I wore that might have been brand name, but the shoes that I had that might have also been brand name. But when you're walking through the community, nobody cares. Nobody cares the shirt you wear, the shoes you have, the company you work for. All they do is they look at you for the person that you are. See, I remember this experience as it changed me. Wow. It's kind of crazy when I think about this experience. You know, this experience was almost exactly 10 years ago to the day when I went to the Philippines the first time. And it impacted me in a really big way. So as I'm here in Huatuco, Mexico, it's the same thing. I walk the streets. It's not a very wealthy area. Nobody cares what you do, who you are, the clothes you wear. And as I sit here in simplicity, of not even simplicity, in the core of what's needed to survive, some shelter, some food, a friendly face. So you always talked about when I go home, how to find unconditioned soul. But to be honest, it's going to be hard. I live in Los Angeles. I work at Google. And everybody's amazing. I have amazing friends, amazing networks, but the experiences and the troubles that we have aren't actually real problems that people have around the globe. About the promotions that we want, the money that we make. So yes, here, to be untethered, to be unconditioned is much easier because they are not in the tech giant of the world. They're not in LA, in the media center of the world, of Hollywood. They're not in a place where there's Republican and Democrat. But where we sit at home is we fight for equality, but in reality what we really want is power. Men want power, women want power, Republicans want power, Democrats want power, white people want power, black people want power, everybody wants power. We don't really want equality. We always continue to fight about the school you go to, the clothes you wear, who your friends are, the company you work for. But when you move all of that, who are you really? Meanings and titles that put you over another person, but when it all comes down to be, who are we when no one is watching? Who are we in the darkness? See, when I was in the Philippines, they didn't know who I was, what I was. I was just a person to fellowship with and have a conversation about life with. Here is the same. The clothes I wear does not matter. The language I speak, I can learn some Spanish. But the energy to be connected to the divine, because they're not carrying the baggage of what we're supposed to be. So that is why I love traveling internationally. That is why I love traveling down the roads less traveled. Because the consumerism, because the expectations, the identities that we carry box us in from who we really are. So what is day 3 going to bring me? I do not know, but I do know that it may take me far, far away to continue to find myself. Not even find myself, but just to be. That we all really want anyway is just to be seen for who we are. To remove the shackles of the companies, to remove the shackles of our identity, to remove the shackles of our race or sexual orientation, of our gender, of our job, of our title, of our school, of our company, and of who we love. Just to be. Just to be seen. And so I go back, knowing the world I have to go into, knowing the battle I have to fight, to pretend the systems that I'm in that I actually care about, but I do not. I don't have to nod my head and say yes, and say it's important, and this is the most important thing, that things that matter tonight, and blah, 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 blah. But it's in the simplicity, in removing the ego, and the shared human experience that we all call in this game of life.